This brings me on to the risks of not seeking or not having lasting transformation as a goal, because a lot of the time, if we're not doing this, we're living at the effects of life rather than being actively in personal development and taking personal responsibility and living at more of a causing the what we want in life, moving with intent in the direction that we want to do, moving into the changes that we want to see in ourselves and in our life, inner and outer world. It's living more at cause rather than the effect, which unfortunately many people live at because they're getting pushed around by life. They don't understand, the reality that we live in. They don't understand themselves on that authentic level, and they're living more effective life. And this is why it's more stressful. This is why it's more frustrating. Having this frustration with ourselves, almost, that because we don't have this level of understanding of ourselves and how to overcome these obstacles, we can only ever deal with life from our level of understanding, and from that place we can only ever seek the information that may serve us from our level of understanding, which is why obviously having some sort of a mentor or a coach is always going to be beneficial, because they can see things from a different perspective and see things that you might not. So it comes back to, if we have that level of frustration with ourselves and not being able to deal, not knowing how to overcome things, that can and the different obstacles that come up in life. And it's really that it's like the cost of not getting to that level of lasting change. It's we won't become our true self, our potential, our what we could become. We're just stuck at this sort of level where we're not overcoming these challenges. We're not growing in our personal development in the way that we want to. We're not increasing awarenesses on the key areas of our life that will increase the quality of our life. And this just it limits us from becoming our true potential ultimately, and that's just quite sad. We can be so much more than we think. A lot of the limitations that we have, the limiting beliefs, holding us back effectively. And by seeking lasting change, this is how we focus on the things that are going to have the lasting change to get us to our true self. And also, like I spoke about, getting to that level of lasting transformation where there isn't any going back, because you've done so much of that inner development that you understand how to deal with life and future challenges. So that's another cost of not seeking lasting transformation or lasting change. The fact that we are in this simulation of life, whatever you want to call it, there are going to be future challenges. And yes, we can deal with whatever we're dealing with now. We might be dealing with procrastination, and we overcome that. But what about future challenges? What about other things that might come up? It's really getting to that so much of a more higher advanced level of personal development where you're overcoming all the key things, but you know how to deal with any future challenges that will come up. And that's living from a place of it's being realistic, because we know that life is gonna present us with challenges. So we want to set ourselves up to win, to be able to deal with whatever we're dealing with now, but also into the future as well. Having that level of personal development that's going to serve us moving forward. And this brings me on to a question. Always, like I said before, questions are the steering wheel of the mind. So we have to, because it steers our focus, it steers our intent. And if we can have better questions, we get better answers, we can have a level of more self-reflection or more self-honesty of, is this where I want to be? Am I doing the right thing here? And we can ask ourselves, where do you think you are on your level of personal development? And we can be honest with ourselves and be like, well, I need to work on this, I need to work on this. And by just having this, it's not like a comparison with anyone else, because like I spoke about before, that we're we're on our, everyone is on their own journey, but having an understanding of ourselves from that authentic place of this is where I am, it gives us a much better understanding of this is what I need to work on moving forward. And, just asking these questions to ourselves, do I have positive habits that I'm doing on a daily basis? It's all very well having an understanding of all these different topics within personal development and reading all these books, but are you implementing it? Are you actually taking action on that? Are you installing these habits? It's all very well knowing all this information, but are you actually living it? Are you actually living your personal growth to that extent? And what about morning routines? Are you setting yourself up to win by having a morning routine that's effective to set you up for the rest of the day? Sets a level of discipline. It might be various things, but having that morning routine, is that something you're doing? Is that something that might be beneficial? And also other areas of life, within personal development, it's quite a broad area. Are there any particular health hacks or things that you could incorporate that might be beneficial? Asking these different questions, like, am I doing the things that I'm learning? Am I implementing things? Could I be doing that habit? Could I be doing this? Could I have this routine? What is going to improve and what is going to move me towards growing and effectively moving forward consistently, on a consistent basis? Like I spoke about before, it's having those small changes, positive changes in the right direction. This is what leads to huge personal growth in the long run. But it can be quite easy just to let things slide, not be doing these things. And I'm not one for particularly having anything crazy, this sort of hustle mentality of like going really, really hard with everything you do. There is an element of a lot of the people who have that sort of mentality, it's fine for certain things they might want to do to create discipline, to create habits, etc. But you also have to have, like I spoke about before when I spoke about levels of consciousness, you also have to have this balance with life. There's no point chasing things to such a degree where you're burning yourself out and you don't have that balance with life. It's not a sustainable way to live. So it's all about having that level of understanding of yourself and the things that are going to benefit you, but also having this flow with life. You don't have to be doing some sort of crazy regimes or practices or anything like that. We always have to come back to our intuition. What is going to serve us? We are in the best place to do that. We are the ones who know our what's going on in our life. Always be, even though I'm speaking on the internet, I always say be careful about who you listen to. There's plenty of gurus and people out there who are suggesting different things, but I always say come back to this level of personal development where you know yourself, because from that place you know what serves you, rather than listen to someone say you need to do this, you need to do this. It's coming back to that level of real inner development where you really understand yourself from that level, and then you're at a better place to know what works for you. But without going off on a bit of a tangent, there is coming back to this, asking these questions. Am I doing this? Am I implementing this? Am I using the information in the direction of lasting change? Because that's what should be the goal, lasting change and an element of self-mastery.